I like a few things, that's the thing. So I'm not going to say what I love most.
So I've been on many little boats like this, and I've got to say this is one of my favourites.
Realistically, this boat is as capable as a Haynes 17R or 17, 18-foot boat. But the benefit of this is you've got that control and you've got that ride.
So we have had some classic ships over the journey. It all started with the little nub tub, the Haynes Hunter 445. There's probably not a better 15-footer going around. Then we stepped up to the Shark Cat, the 7-metre, 24 Jim Anderson built. That's the cream of the crop. We've had a 26-foot Blackwatch. The less I say about that, the better. But the Quintrex Fish Finder, that one is the sentimental favourite. We love that little boat. It's our worst riding, most favourite boat. But there's a big problem. We are broke as fuck, mainly because we can't bear to part with one of our Sikaflex ships. There's another problem. Crewman Jack is sick of rebuilding boats older than he is. So the brief for the next Captain's Project boat was as follows. It had to be factory fresh. It must be saturated with the smell of Australian boat building. It had to be full composite construction. Absolutely no timber allowed. Of course, it needed a state-of-the-art electronic fit-out. Say hello to digital steering and automated jack plates. And it had to have a top-shelf trailer, the best one we've had yet. Maybe it could launch the boat itself and then wash itself when it's finished. That'd be pretty mint. Now, the answer for our new boat was just under our nose. Down the road in Cairn River was Erick Hyland from Whitepointer Boats.
What we're about to build here is a new weaponised Super Hornet for the captain. 2 years ago, I suggested not to try to revamp a piece of junk he found. Now he's decided this is the way to go. This is the new Super Hornet. What we have here, this is the mould. This is the Super Hornet mould. This was the original Haynes Hunter 488C that was purchased years ago with the Edencraft moulds. We've modified it, we've turned it into a centre console, and as you can see, highly polished. The better the moulds, the better the finish. What the mould does, this gives us the shape of the boat. We build the boat inside out. We start with the colour and work our way in. You will see, once I gel coat it, you get an idea how it all falls together, basically. Yeah, gel coat is strong. It's a lot stronger, basically, than the resin itself. It's durable, impervious, it seals the boat. That's the gel coat completed, the colour's in. That's the colour of the final boat. So we'll let that go for today. Tomorrow morning, we'll put a tie layer into it, the first layer that goes into the boat with the chopper gun. What you can see the lad's putting in now is basically this. This is 800 gram woven rovings. These Super Hornets have 3 layers of this. A lot of the small boats, they don't bother putting it in, but because these, what we call a weaponised version of the Super Hornet, we put a fair bit of this stuff in. It's hand laid. There's been a pass with the chopper gun. We just put one in now, and we'll put another one in a moment, and then it gets laid up. So that'll be the laminate. The whole laminate will be completed. The first layer of rovings is in. We're about to wet it out with a gun again, and then we perform this trick again. There'll be another set of rovings in, and then another pass with the gun. That'll complete the layup. Full fiberglass floor, full fiberglass stringers, full fiberglass transom. There's no timber, no thermalite, nothing in these boats. So yeah, 100-year plus. What we're about to do now, same again. Once we do this side, the hull's completely laid up except for the 40-odd layers of fiberglass that goes into the transom. Full fiberglass bulletproof transom. And she's finished. The layup's completed. We're just about to pull it out of the mould. You can see it's been fitted with 2 of our fiberglass stringer systems. Full fiberglass, no timber under the floor. The tank's sitting in position. It's yet to be fiberglassed, flow coated and then foamed in. And basically then front casting deck goes on, away it goes. But we're about to pull it. As you can see, we've got a couple of forklifts here. We'll lift it out of the mould and sit it on the trailer.
Erick builds a bloody good boat, but he does not have a good console mould in his arsenal. So we reached out to Adam from Bonito Boats. He's got a couple of really neat consoles. We went for the deluxe model, There's a lot of angles going on, but I think it really works for this boat. So the console, it holds all the digital trickery that this space shuttle requires. Now the job of fitting out the Whitepointer was given to the boys at Johnson Brothers Enterprise Marine. They're the same guys that did the 445 nub tub.
When it comes to mounting all your modules, stereo, everything like that under the dash, all of your rigging, we need to come up with a solution. So what I've made up is a couple of bits of kingboard. I've followed the shape of the under the console because we're able to make up a lot of our electrical components on the bench rather than lying underneath. So this is how we're going to lay out this particular board. This is going to connect all of our devices. So we've got our J-box here, our network switch. This is for the Raymarine. This is for our Mercury. This is going into Raymarine as well. And this is going to connect everything via NEMA 2000 network. Yeah, this is just going to help everything communicate to each other. And so they're all as one.
Yeah, I think we rate this fit up the captain's best yet. And that's a credit to Tommy. The way he was able to get all that gear in the console, neat as a pin, fully accessible. Nice work, Tommy. Now the Whitepointer is fitted with 3 clever digital components that optimise performance and handling. We've got Optimus digital steering, the same steering that's on the Shark Cat. We love that product. It's got C-Star digital trim tabs and a C-Star jack plate. This is an absolute golden triangle of digital wizardry. But seriously, do you need all that shit in a 5-metre console? Yes. So why would you believe us? I wouldn't believe us. So we brought down the commandant of consoles. Here's Ivan Alexander. He knows his boats. Tell us what you think, Ivan.
What I really love about this boat is quite a few things actually. Firstly, the simplicity of the boat. It feels like I'm in a tinny, but I've got all these creature comforts of a Land Cruiser 300 series, and the motor is just so ballsy. It's got so much torque. I'm a Mercury guy. So, I know, it was perfectly weighted, the motor. The power to weight was perfect, like it was very torquey, and I'm coming from a 200 horsepower and a 5.65 metre boat, and it had every bit of the same amount of torque. At the right rev limits, at the right speed, it had that torque. It wasn't like down low torque and then nothing in that mid-range. It had that mid-range torque, which is what you want, because if you're in a sea and there's a hole, you know, like you're going over a wave and there's a hole, you need that torque to back off the speed so you're not going to whack it, but then speed straight back up so you're not getting off the actual plane. The layout is just really simple and it's really maneuverable, it's fishable.
So the first component in our golden triangle is the C-Star digital trim tabs. At the heart of this C-Star trim tab system is an intuitive dial controller. This dials in the optimum ride for any situation. Just turn the dial in the desired direction to level the boat out. Or just tap for bow up or bow down and the electric actuators respond. Okay, on to our favourite digital feature, and it's the steering, the Optimus steering.
I don't even know what to say about it. It was like a feather. Normally I have to use that steering knob to actually turn the boat, even with the hydraulic steering. And with this, it was just so sensitive. You could just touch it with like 2 or 3 fingers and just go port or starboard. It was like a dream, and I'll probably have to go that on the next boat.
The best part is you can program it to various conditions. So at low speed, we've got it dialed in to 3 locks to turn. That's ideal for docking, reversing, and manoeuvring around our fishing spots. And it's also set at a resistance of 60%. So 60% of maximum resistance, it's absolute silk. At high speed, the steering is dialed in at 5.5 locks to turn. So that's to reduce the rate of turn for a more moderate and safer response. All right, so there's other benefits of digital. There are no pumps, no hydraulic hoses, and no hydraulic cylinders, and there's definitely no oil, which means no more servicing or purging the system. All the settings for the steering can be made on the CanTrack display up here on the dash. Now the last piece in our digital triangle is the Dometic C-Star jack plate. We've been on plenty of boats featuring jack plates, and I don't think a single skipper of those boats has regretted the decision to fit one.
I would never own a boat without a jacking plate ever again, and this is just a testament to it again.
The main benefit is pretty simple. You can put the prop in the sweet spot for optimal cruising. And of course that changes whether you're getting up on the plane or whether you're on the plane. It just gives you that spot where the hull feels unglued to the surface with minimal pounding and minimal spray.
With the jack plate, when you take off, we have the jack plate all the way down and the engine trimmed in. And then as soon as we got to about 15 knots or so, we started to put the jacking plate up. And having that ability to just go up and up and up the boat, you could feel the boat just getting that little bit higher. One of the benefits of once you've jacked up the jacking plate is the boat then sits flat, more horizontal to the water.
The jack plate is operated by the Pro Trim controller fitted to the helm. Just simply tap the Pro Trim controller without taking your hands off the wheel.
So with this particular jacking plate, it's a 4-inch setback. And what that does is it puts the outboard further away from the hull, from the bottom of the hull, and it gets that prop in clearer and cleaner water. So you get less cavitation and more stern lift.
Now we have a boat with balls and brains. It's tough as fuck. It's got the latest digital hardware. It needed a trailer to match. Enter Daniel Given. He's a very smart Kiwi, comes from an engineering background. His business is Baylex.
Baylex is an automatic boat loading system. The Baylex system allows you to launch and retrieve your boat at a touch of a button. Everything's safe and controlled, and then coming back on, you get your bow of the boat between the drive units here, push the button for retrieve, which is on the remote, and it will bring it up to your winch post. If you're not physically able, you don't have to worry about winching a boat on, especially if it's a larger boat and you're short on crew. So essentially, this is the brains of the operation. Inside we have the hydraulic power pack and the battery and charging systems for the Baylex. This powers the automatic boat loading system. So this is our Baylex drive units. Essentially they consist of a hydraulically driven motor system with ultra grip belts. These belts are Kevlar reinforced so they can take the weight of up to a 4-ton boat. What they do is they lift, when you engage the Baylex, they lift the boat 25 mil off the rollers, which breaks the friction, and then all the grip is essentially on the Baylex. So you've got complete control of your boat coming off and then complete control of it coming back on. The main benefit of the Baylex system, it gives you a controlled launch and retrieve. Everything's at the touch of a button, so you don't need to worry about the boat slipping off or as it's coming on being out of control and not being able to handle it. As soon as your boat's on the Baylex, at the back of the boat here, it's grip. You don't have to worry about it. You can slow everything down and bring it on and off at your leisure. So the Baylex automatic boat loader comes with a waterproof floating remote in case you drop it in the water. Essentially you turn it on and you push either a launch or retrieve button. The boat will move off the trailer or on the trailer, and as soon as you take your finger off the button, the boat will stop. So essentially if you're launching your boat, you can hold the finger on the button, and once it floats off the end of the trailer, it's going at a pace where you can just reach out and grab it. So the integrated washdown system on this trailer essentially washes our brakes and the Baylex systems because they're getting wet and they're key components. What we found after boating is essentially you go launch your boat in the morning, it sits there at the ramp for 8 hours while you're out fishing, and the sun just bakes on all the salt. So your key components are going to go rusty. Even if you wash your trailer thoroughly, you're gonna have potentially issues down the line. So the washdown system is a high pressure system, so it doesn't use a lot of water, but it's designed to blast off as much salt as possible while it's still wet before the sun bakes it onto your trailer while you're out fishing. The Baylex system's designed to bolt on to most production trailers. If you're getting a new boat and trailer built, it can be fitted to your trailer straight off the bat, or you can have a custom trailer built for it, such as this one. Otherwise, it can be retrofitted to your existing trailer. So this is all made from 5083 marine grade aluminium, which is folded into a C-section, which gives us your strongest form for forming up trailer chassis. We run 5 mil as standard on our trailers for most of the sizes. For the larger boats, we go up to a 6 mil chassis. Yeah, we generally run our cross members at about metre centres, which gives it a nice rigid trailer throughout. Our trailers utilise multi-roller bunk systems, which keeps all the weight out close to your hubs on your trailer as much as possible. And then the rollers through the centre help guide the boat on as it's being pushed on with the Baylex system. Really, it suits anyone who wants to use their boat more often. It makes it easy. It means you can go by yourself without a crew. It makes it super simple and super safe to launch and retrieve. Yeah, we had one customer, he had a 4.8 metre Maclay. He was in his early 80s. It gave him another 4 years of boating.
I thought all the hotted up components of the boat were crazy, but this trailer, it's insane. The side steps on the trailer, they're really wide, and I know it's not a high boat, but it's easy to get in and out of the boat, which is a plus. So if I'm getting out of the boat at night time and I've got some things in my hands, I know I'm not gonna miss anything and go through a wheel or it's just big and flat and really easy to hop on and off.
So at the moment, this is our smallest model. This will go up to approximately a 6.5 metre, 2.5 tonne boat. But they go all the way up to 3.5 tonne, 9.5 metre boats. We've had these systems on boats in New Zealand since 2016. We're now really ready to take it to the world. We worked with a team to develop a self-drive trailer, which was four-wheel drive, hydraulically driven. So the client could back the trailer into the water, launch his boat off, float out into the estuary, drive with the remote control, drive it back up onto his property. And when he came back from fishing, he could do that in reverse, Balex his boat up onto the trailer, drove the trailer up from the safety of his cockpit of his boat up onto his back lawn. The thing I love most about the bailing system, it makes it accessible, it makes it easy. You don't have to stress about getting your boat on and off, so more opportunities to go.
So we've been fishing with enough bosses of the blue water, guys like Timmy Dean and Scott Thorrington. They're all running Raymarine, so we thought we'd give it a crack in the Captain's Whitepointer.
My name's Paul Cameron. I'm here with the guys from the Captain magazine on their new Whitepointer centre console. We've got a full Raymarine suite on this vessel, including an Axiom 12 Plus RVM unit. It is quite a clear screen. Connected to that, we also have a remote control unit, so you can both use a remote control as well as your touch. So Raymarine has one of the brightest screens on the market today. They're a fully closed screen. What we mean by that is there's no gap between the glass panel on the outside and the LCD panel as well, so they're bonded together. They've got a hydrophobic coating over the top of it which repels water and also fingerprints, so it doesn't matter if it's raining in your open console, wet fingers or anything like that, you can go for your life. The brightness of the screen, it doesn't matter whether you're in the shade or full sun, you can still see it in any conditions. Sounder-wise is where we get interesting. We have an RVM 1600 sonar module in here that is also powering our 1 kilowatt high-wide AMR transducer. So no matter where you're going in this vessel, you can certainly get some really good coverage of bottom, whether it's your side imaging or down imaging or that high chirp. You've got a really good suite of marine electronics. We're using all three to confirm that there actually is something there. The different frequency bases allow us to see different structure at different frequencies and therefore giving us a clearer picture that higher the frequency. So you've got fish sitting right behind us and fish sitting over to the left-hand side, and we've got fish sitting right underneath us as well. Okay, so Trav, if you cast directly in this direction, you'll most likely get a hit or two straight out here. And we've got our 3D imaging going here. 3D is a make-up of our side imaging and down imaging and our conical fish finder all put together through the quad-core processing in your Axiom Pro. What this really does for you is it maps the bottom and gives you an idea not only of the structure, but where the fish are holding. So in about 100 metres of water in front of us, we'll start to see them fish. And this is all based on your depth. So if you look down the side, the blue is something that's high in the water column, whereas the red would be something that's low in the water column, or the yellow in this point, because we're in pretty shallow water here, you'll be able to see the difference and where they sit in that water column. So if you're trawling, it makes it really easy to understand. For example, you've just gone over a little bit of a bommy and some fish in here, you can then see them fish on your sounder here in the blue. So you know what depth they're at. We can see some of them fish slightly out to the side, but where it's really important is we've marked them up really clearly on our 3D. You can look at this in any direction. You can tell the majority of the fish are sitting off to the right-hand side of the vessel. And if I zoom this out slightly, on my side image, you can see just the tail end of them back here. Under traditional conical fish finders, because of the angle of the cone, we completely missed what we've seen here on our traditional conicals because it fell outside of that cone. Whereas you can see clearly them start to show up in full strength right now, all underneath the boat, all around the boat, in every direction. Happy days, let's go catch a fish.
So I was really impressed with the Raymarine sounder today, and we could see schools of bonito either side of the boat, and we just cast into them, and 2 out of 3 casts, you're probably hooking up to a fish and you knew that the lure was in the right spot. The way it's presented on the screen is actually really user-friendly, and I find that's actually quite hard to get with a lot of the sounders nowadays. So it's simple, and we're fishermen, we're not IT experts, so that's what we need.
We've rocked a lot of stereos in our Sikaflex ships, and we reckon Roswell is the shit. They do have models with no head unit, but call us old-fashioned, we opted for the head unit. It comes with Bluetooth functionality as well as a 50-watt internal amplifier and IP66 water resistance rating. We've got a pair of R 6.5-inch speakers either side. So this pretty simple but high-quality setup, it's going to set you back less than $1,000. So we've finally joined the lithium bandwagon. So these are the BLA lithium hybrid deep cycle and cranking batteries. These batteries have 2,000 cycles. They'll last twice as long as a normal battery and can be stored for long periods of time without losing their power. At a freckle over 10 kilos, they're about half the weight of a standard lead acid battery. This model features a Bluetooth app. That's to monitor battery health and as a backup jumpstart function. Of course, no Captain project boat would be complete without an EVA flooring system. Enter Shane Payton from Decked. He's an absolute craftsman, takes massive pride in his work. We've entrusted him with the job and he certainly didn't let us down.
So there's 2 things I'm passionate about, boats and design, and that's why this is the perfect job for me. Yeah, so this is our Proton, which is a digital templating machine. It enables us to get an electronic template, and a boat isn't a symmetrical piece. It's an organic piece that has to be millimetre perfect. So this enables me to do that. You're marking exactly where that floor is going to go. Now you notice I'm not going straight into the corner. And the reason for that is that I've got to allow area for water flow. A fishing boat needs to be able to, if you have tuna or tuna blood or water that needs to get out, you need to be able to make sure that it has the ability to allow that water out. So every one of those little beeps is a node that I work off. So after I've done multiple sections of this, I'll pull that in onto a USB, bring to my laptop, and pull all that together, and then I'll have my template. So yeah, we've got a number of different elements, different textures and different materials. Well, prep's extremely important. Flow coat has a wax in it, so it needs to be arist. So we'll give that a light sand. There's 3 stages of chemicals that run down on that floor. And once all that's prepped and dried, ready to go, then we can go ahead and install the job. You've got to be, it's like a big jigsaw puzzle. We'll tab certain sections and adjust it until it's exactly the right position, and then it's forced down. So we have a roller that forces down. It's a pressure sensitive material. Once that's forced down, try get it off. It's stuck like nothing else. One of the major reasons why EVA flooring is a bonus is it's non-slip, it's incredibly comfortable. The other element which is really important is that you don't have to wear shoes. You can go out there, and even if it gets a little bit on the warm side, you can get the deck wash out, cool it down. We realised that the extra thickness affected anti-fatigue, so we decided to go the thick 10 mil. We decided to go the highest quality material we could find. But the other element that's really important to me is it's not just chucking a floor down, it's the overall concept. You spend lots of money on all these components and screens and engines and anchor winches. The floor should look as good as the boat. It's not just about chucking a floor down. So that's what deck's about, is the concept of being completely decked out.
So what do we love and don't love about the new Whitepointer project boat? It's cool as fuck. Like this low slung Whitepointer grey, it does look incredibly mean. We love the commercial grade build. I mean, Erick has taught us so much about the way boats should be built. Yes, it is old school, and Tommy at Marino and Roger Veach are probably like shaking their heads now.
It doesn't appear to be a big boat. It's only 5 meters, but it didn't feel like we were in a small boat. The stability and the softness, I was really, really impressed. The layup of the boat is outstanding, and it's a testament to Whitepointer, because I've been in a lot of boats, and often a boat of this size, they prefer to be light and they skip across the water. This is heavily laid, it's really solid, it doesn't bang, it doesn't slap. If you're in an uncomfortable situation, it thuds, and it just keeps tracking straight.
It does have some shortcomings around rod storage. There's no real live bait tank and there's no bait board. I guess they're all things that you can add, but there's not a lot of fishing friendly features. This is just a point and shoot boat.
A couple of things I don't like, probably the transom height, and that's only from a perspective of, I'm gonna take this small boat out wide. So just a little bit safer if it was maybe the same height as the gunnels.
I think there's probably better fishing boats, but when you want to punch home, you know, in a 5 meter boat, I'd probably rather be in this than most 17-foot boats, to be honest. For me, it's the performance. This is the driver's boat in the fleet. The 115, the Mercury Pro XS, the absolute surprise packet. Everybody that looks at it is like, oh, 115, but it is more than enough. I think the digital enhancements really bring out the performance as well.
So people are probably gonna say, is it worth having all these things on a small boat? And to be honest with you, the answer is yes. I would much prefer to have a small boat with all the creature comforts so I can optimize my performance than just have a big platform that doesn't have certain things and it's not performing the way that you want it to perform. Realistically, this boat is as capable as a Haynes 17R or a 17, 18-foot boat. But the benefit of this is you've got that control.